So here's a review of one piece of gear that I don't have as a necessity, but more as a security. And I'm talking about my GPS watch, which is ABC GPS watch. ABC stands for altimeter, barometer, and compass. And I chose the Suunto Ambit3 Peak. And I chose it over the Garmin fēnix 3 at the time, because now you have Garmin fēnix 5 that got released and the Suunto Spartan recently. But I still like very much my Suunto Ambit Peak because I mean it's super useful. It's super useful to have your track. It's rudimentary. If I show you, for example, that's the map that's on my trail, and basically show me like that I'm on the trail. And there's many things, and I'm gonna continue to hike, and I'm gonna make you a review on how I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna do like a technical review on everything that you can see, because there's other video on YouTube that will show you that. I just basically want to show you what I didn't show in the YouTube video. And the first things I'm gonna show you is a new function that Suunto implemented like 2 months after that I sent them an email. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's pretty useful. So this is the overview map when you go on the GPS. And there's one thing I was like asking, like, hey, is there a way to have like to know how much you are on the trail? Because if you look at the trail, it's a lot of like way around and this kind of thing, so you can't really estimate how much kilometer you have left. And I would love to have a function that will tell me and prevent me if I'm off route. And basically recently, a month or two ago, they put an update and they added a function. They added this function, and okay, this is more for climber actually, but it's actually very useful. It shows you basically the elevation during your trail. So basically what's in black, what you can see on the left side, is basically what I've done. Yes, I just started, and basically the rest is what you're going to have in elevation. The good point is that you can see how much kilometers you have left just by a simple calculation. You know, like you're about like a few percent, so I still have the 18 kilometers, so maybe I have like 17 kilometers more to go. Now you can say, yeah, but it also calculates the distance already, how much kilometer you have done. That is true if you're like me and you like to go a bit around and so on, then your distance will be basically your distance that you have walked and not the distance on the trail. So that allow me, when I go back on trail, see where I am, what's my progress on the trail. So that is like pretty nice function. And in plus of that, they added like an alarm that if you go like, I think it's 500 meters away from your trail, yes, that's a lot, but that's pretty useful. If you go 500 meters away, then it's gonna beep and tell you you're off route. So that's a very nice function. I still hope that one day they would put like the function like when you are on trail, how much there is until your waypoint. The only thing that you have is the distance by bird flight, straight line from where you are to the waypoint. It's not that useful. I mean, it's a bit, but yeah. Then that's how it looks when you basically use it. Now you see like all the menu are customizable. You have to do it through the website. Fine, I'm gonna say fine. I don't like when something is linked to websites directly, but you have to customize the menu from the website or from the app actually. So this is how, for example, my menu look when I go on trekking. I have the speed on the middle, and on top you have the clock, and then down there is like a different view. Like right now you see my average speed is like 4.4 kilometers, which is not my average normally, but as I'm recording I'm a bit slower. A few other functions I haven't seen in any review video is auto pause and auto scroll and 3D distance. First of all, auto pause, basically it will stop the recording of your performance, like of your exercise, when you go below a certain speed. Basically when you make a break and you stop. I found it pretty useful to know, you know, my average speed. And another point, auto scroll will basically scroll through menu while with a certain amount of second. This I don't like. I'm always stopping it. And another one is the 3D distance. It's basically in the watch you can say I want the distance to be calculated including the elevation and the slope basically, or I want the distance to be calculated on bird fly. Well, I prefer 3D distance that give like a more accurate estimation. That's my point on that. The first thing I use it for is obviously for the GPS, because basically I usually hike in area where I don't know the area, even though the trail is well marked. In Skåne, which is in Sweden, and there is this trail called the Skåneleden, and they basically mark the trail with orange mark, and there is pretty much everywhere. If you look here you have one mark. You can't really get lost there, but the point is that I can also hike by night, and by night you don't necessarily spot all the marks and you can easily miss it, and then you're up to get your compass and your map to find back where you are. But I found it that with the GPS watch you will just avoid to lose a lot of time, because you can keep on working while you check where you are and get in the direction of the correct trail. Another function that I never used yet is the find back function, which allow you to, it will basically recalculate your trail back to where you were, so that if you lose your trail for like, let's say, a kilometer or two in the forest and you really can't find back the way and you're like way out of trail, then use this function to basically will keep you back on where you were, like like if you will have put breadcrumbs on your behind you. Another thing concerning the Suunto is if it loses GPS signal, it will still look if you are in activity or not based on your movement, the movement of the watch. It means that when you are in deep forest, into like a rift or something like that, and the GPS is weak, well then it will still use your wrist movement to know if you should pause the recording or not. And this is good because it avoids to force your stats basically. So that is a good point that I love about the Suunto. I don't know if Garmin implement it now. It will be good, I think. If you ask me, will I upgrade my Suunto Ambit3 Peak to the Suunto Spartan, I will tell you no. One, because I don't need more. Second of all, I do not like the screen of the Suunto Spartan. It seems to be like not good enough contrast if you are in the sun. It's good for indoors, this is fine. I've seen it, it's good for indoors, but I have a problem with the screen. I do like my black and white screen, and I do like the fact that I can invert the black and white so I can have a better contrast in certain situation. So for me to have a color screen is like, no, it's useless for me. It's nice, but I will wait that there is a maybe better screen on full sun. That's my fault. For final thought about it, I just want to say why I choose the Suunto instead of the Garmin. Well, my point was that Garmin had actually too much nice option. I'm talking like they had like more notification, more. It's just like was basically it was more a smartwatch that had sport function very good and so on. It is very good. The Garmin fēnix so far, I've seen it, it's pretty good. My only thing is that it was like really just a very nice watch, and I found the Suunto a bit more discreet in a sense that it's not gonna alert you all the time, it's gonna give you just the data you need. I'm in nature not to be comfortable, but this is my safety to know that I'm not lost and that I can get back on my way if I want to get lost and then come back. So that's why I choose the Suunto over the Garmin fēnix 3. That's my choice on that, and some people might prefer the Garmin fine with me. Ciao, ciao.